सुन रहे आप रेडियो आज़ाद and this is Double Shot Espresso with Tasneem and Ayesha. We're talking about what women want, and very briefly we're going to just wrap up this section about problems.
Yes, just very quickly I had two more points. One is about the lack of respect for homemakers and caregivers. I think that's a big one, still prevalent. A lot of us have pretty much two jobs when men have one, and yes, we kind of sugarcoat that by asking for help around the house, but at the end of the day it's still pretty much our job to make sure that the home is functioning well and there's food on the table and the kids are looked after and homework is done and school meetings are being attended to, etc., etc. You get the drift. So I think it's really important that we consider this whole home part, the homemaking part of it, also as a job. It's a job which is, homemakers actually have one job already. The fact that if you're working as outside as well is then that makes it two jobs. So a little bit of more understanding, a little bit of more empathy, and a little bit of more awareness that running a home as well is a full-time job. And the other point I wanted to make is navigating career and motherhood. I believe that a big challenge that women face these days is navigating career opportunities while maximizing motherhood. So working moms do have the luxury of leaning into either their careers or motherhood, but rarely both at once. So I think it's so important to enable a mother to re-enter the workforce where she left off. Whereas that is still seen as you took a sabbatical. I didn't take a sabbatical. I had a child. Right. So I think we need to make sure that women who choose to pause their career to have a baby or go the family way, then that shouldn't be a problem.
The US is the only developed country that does not have federally funded, mandated maternity leave.
Yeah, see, imagine that. I mean, and who would have thought that USA doesn't have it? I mean, that would be something like, India, Pakistan mein nahi hai, chalo samjhe. But not here, USA. Imagine. Yeah. So I think, that's my list. And as I said, not all inclusive. I'm sure there may be more, but this is what we can cover in today's show.
Yes, and poverty. I think more women are apt to live in poverty than men by about 35%.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Look at those figures. I mean, when I hear all this, I feel that the privileges that we enjoy, that by itself should be a motivator to actually raise your voice and do something in whichever space you are in, however you can.
All right. Now we're getting into part 2 of our topic today. And part 2 is, what are the strengths of a woman? So this should be much easier for all of you. You can call in and just give us what you think are some of the qualities that women possess. What are some of the strengths that you have or your spouse may have? And share that with us. 9725019390.
बिल्कुल. और यहाँ पे एक मैंडेटरी क्लॉज डाल देते हैं कि a person's strength or area of improvement are not defined by their gender. And though we kind of try to generalize or stereotype, if I can say कि भाई ये औरतों की strength है और ये मर्दों की strength है, that's exactly what we started the show off with, कि भाई human rights चाहिए, equality चाहिए, तो भाई मेरी strength men में भी हो सकती है, men की strength women में भी हो सकती है, but this is for the with the benefit of generalizing today. Some of the strengths are, number one, what would I say? I would say, we collaborate. I think we are great collaborators. We kind of work with the whole team and we can get the whole family buy-in. And so I think that's number one for me.
I think empathy.
Yeah, definitely. We tend to be able to do that. Or not only in an organization, I think it's a great leadership quality. We need to be able to be empathetic with our team members or understand the situation as required. We also calm under pressure. I mean, we may be having a storm going on within, but from how we kind of carry it all out, it's done with a lot of calmness and resilience. And just this morning I had a beautiful representation of that when madam walked in, and there was like, we had no sound, or we thought we had no sound in the studio. So she's like, kahan se wire kahan ja rahe, very calmly, as she's talking to me about her day and her morning.
Oh, goodness.
And she figured it out, so yeah, 3 cheers to you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Attention to detail, आई थिंक वो भी एक बहुत ही अच्छी स्ट्रेंथ है हमारी, ऑर्गेनाइज्ड एंड डिटेल रहना. बहुत सारी लाइक सिंपल थिंग्स लाइक ईमेल में स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक्स जो होती है, या घर पे जब हम डिनर करते हैं तो द स्मॉलर थिंग्स विच एक्चुअली मेक गेस्ट्स फील लाइक वो सो नाइस, दोज आर द थिंग्स दैट अ वुमन ब्रिंग्स टू द टेबल. वी हैव अ कॉलर, लेट्स टेक देम.
ऑलराइट, रेडियो आजाद, यू आर ऑन द एयर.
हाँ, मैं समझती हूँ वुमेन आर मल्टीटास्कर्स बेटर.
जी बिल्कुल.
डू अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स एट द सेम टाइम एंड डू इट वेरी गुड. नंबर 2, आई फील रिस्पेक्ट ज्यादा होती है वुमेन में, ऑफ रिस्पेक्टिंग डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ पीपल एंड ऑल. दे आर मोर इंक्लूसिव, लेस जजमेंटल देन मेन, और कम्युनिकेशन भी उनका जो अंदाज होता है ना औरत का, इट कैन गेट यू अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स डन इफ यू डू इट राइट. एंड पेशेंस बहुत होती है औरत में. पेशेंस भी बहुत है, ग्रैटिट्यूड है ज्यादा, बहुत सारी चीजें. इंटीग्रिटी में समझती हूँ, वैल्यूज का ज्यादातर जो बहुत ज्यादा कॉन्सेंट्रेट वैल्यूज का जो है, मैं समझती हूँ औरत के किरदार और कैरेक्टर में समाया हुआ होता है ये. So I try to follow all these things. Thank you so much, and honest also. Thank you.
Honesty and integrity.
Actually हम हैं ही ना, हम इतने अच्छे हैं कि सर से लेके पाँव तक आप मेरी अच्छाइयाँ गिनेंगे तो आपको दिन खत्म हो जाएगा.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, there's so much. I mean, you ticked off, Shanaz ji, a lot of things on my list here. So thank you so much. इतना cover हो गया मेरा. एक maturity जो एक औरत को हम समझते हैं, I think that is also a big strength. We kind of grow up fast, so therefore we get mature also pretty faster. We have another caller.
Radio Azad, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yes,
the topic is very, very nice, very interesting. Everything has been covered by the other listeners. So I just want to say that औरत के दुश्मन होती है. So, because, sometimes men are, they don't care, or even if they do care and support the women, it's the women who goes against the women.
Gee.
And that is very bad. So that, I want the women to change their mindset. But then the men cannot treat us as if, कहते हैं ना कि हम तो औरतों को तो जूतों की नोक पे रखना चाहिए, तो हम उनको क्यों मौका दें?
बिल्कुल सही. And women need to uplift and empower each other rather than bring each other down.
They can go ahead and do things that even the men will come. They will command respect from not only men, from all humanity.
Absolutely. Very good point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so true. And nurturing भी एक था मेरे इसमें कि I think as we are naturally givers, I think that whole childbirth process, and as a species by itself, I think ऊपर वाले ने हमें normally एक nurturing की जो side है वो दी है, वो काम आती है, not only at the home front, but it does help even when you're growing a team, when you're growing the skills of your team, when you're being that kind of a giving nature, where you feel that supporting another person's growth is also important, and it's not only about you. Of course, I mean, जो एक kindness और love की बात करें तो we are more of the emotional sort. Also, we are generalized कि भाई ज़्यादा हम में है वो softness side of things, and I think that also comes with its share of strengths, and if overused, that can also be taken for granted. तो हर एक ये जो strength है, and वो अगर आप over extreme पे जाएंगे तो then that can turn to be a disadvantage for you. तो for example, अगर आप over nurturing हो गए तो you're only bothered about how others are perceiving you or their growth and their success, so you're probably selling yourself short. So I think a healthy balance is important, but these would be in a nutshell some of the most generalized traits that they say women are known for.
I think you have to keep that balance of being firm yet gentle.
Yes.
I think usse jo hai, you tend to get the most out of people, and women I think also tend to be conciliatory rather than igniting wars.
Yeah. We want to talk about it and finish it off,
Mediation,
Yeah.
diplomacy, I think women are firm believers in that. And I think women also tend to lead by example, and they don't let their egos to such a large extent come in the way of their jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
So
we agree.
if you have anything that we left out, then you can tap the app and call us and let us know what do you think are some of the strengths that women have. 9725019390. And then when we come back from the break,
That part which I've been waiting for.
yes, what do women want from men? We're going to shed a lot of light on this, and we'd love to get both genders to call in. Actually, now there are more genders, but we're not even going to get into
Yeah.
that. Here we go. See who's with us. Radio Azad, you're on the air.
हेलो आयशा
Hello.
कैसी हैं?
तुम दोनों को
अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
वालेकुम अस्सलाम.
कैसी हैं आप?
हाँ, और ये क्या लगा दिया तुमने समझ में क्या गाना क्या लगा दिया
क्या गाना लगा दिया था तस्नीम?
धाकड़ है. I mean, totally धाकड़ है.
समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा है क्या क्या बोले जा रहा है समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि क्या लग गया
ये दंगल से है.
दंगल से हाँ सही लगता है
जी
मगर
जी.
दंगल में भी आराम है मतलब दंगल में तो जोरदार धमाका होता है ना ये बड़ा आराम से बोल रहा है
हाँ जी जी.
मैं बैठी मैं शुरू से बैठी सुन रही तुम लोगों को खामोशी से
ओह थैंक यू. इतनी
हाँ,
खामोशी अच्छी नहीं होती निशात आंटी.
हाँ, खामोशी अच्छी होती है और सुनने में ज्यादा अच्छा लगता है तुम दोनों की बातें जो होती है ना तस्नीम की
जी.
तो बहुत ही देखा है तस्नीम को हमने तुम्हारी उसमें
बहुत प्यारी है.
हाँ बहुत प्यारी है बहुत अच्छी
Oh, thank you.
और बातें भी सुनते हैं मालूमात
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. ठीक
हाँ.
है निशात आंटी. थैंक यू
Thank
फॉर
you.
कॉलिंग.
Thank you so much.
ऑल राइट जनाब, सुन रहे हैं आप रेडियो आज़ाद. दिस इज़ वेयर योर वॉइस मैटर्स. मिलेंगे जी. बात कर रहे हैं हम अब तीसरे सेगमेंट के बारे में, विच इज़ व्हाट डू वुमेन वांट. इज इट जस्ट जनरली व्हाट डू वुमेन वांट और व्हाट डू वुमेन वांट फ्रॉम मेन?
I mean, I think I put it as what do women want from men, but we can like open the table up. ठीक है, what do women want in general is also fine.
Okay.
But I think अगर men के बारे में बात करें तो I think that women do not want men to invest all the energy in trying to prove how strong or how manly or heroic they are. They just want men who are willing to meet them where they are and treat them fairly and equally. And if you're in a romantic relationship, to make sure that they make the effort as well to keep that spark burning. Now, what I have done is, and then again, as the calls come and as you feel best to Aisha to pitch in wherever, is like I've tried to put it into 3 segments where we have moral integrity from all men. I think women want that. Relational sensitivity from friends and partners, and then a satisfying intimacy from romantic partners. And I'm going to talk about it in these 3 segments. So first, traits of moral integrity. What are the traits of moral integrity that we would want from our men? Definitely mutual respect. Is a big one. Also open communication, the ability to have a say. I think many times in certain aspects women are just perceived कि भाई यहाँ पे तो तुम्हारी बात करने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. Financial matters ले लो या ऐसे कोई bigger decisions of life है तो क्यों नहीं, अगर मेरी skill set वहाँ पे है. So I think then women should also be able to have a voice there. And then generally, obviously, open communication in terms of handling an argument, resolving conflict. A healthy relationship, we all know, flourishes when communication is clear.
Okay, let's see who our caller is. Radio Azad, you're
Hello.
on the... Ji.
Yes, the other strong weapon the men have is the talaq.
Ji.
They think they can get away with that by just saying the word talaq 3 times in a 3-month period and all that. But you see what does, and then the woman is left high and dry because she doesn't have they don't give her financial dues, her what is her right to his property and all that. They don't do that, and then the woman is taken. Where does she go? Then she goes under the domination of either her father, if he's alive, or under the domination of brothers.
Ji.
And it's not easy to live once you've left your parents' house. It's not easy to go back again and be under the control of the sister-in-laws, and the atmosphere is completely different. So that way, I think I want women to be strong, not fear, and fight for their rights when they are divorced.
Absolutely. And again, this is a classic example. Thank you for that point. Classic example of how religion is misused in order for power and control.
बिल्कुल, yes, totally agree. फिर उसके आगे honesty, I think women definitely want honesty. Is another make or break trait. Don't give reason to doubt you. I think if you have open communication and are truthful with each other, because उससे trust and trustworthiness deepen होता है, and I think that's one of the integral weave of any relationship. I mean, it doesn't need to be a romantic relationship, even a friendship or a professional relationship needs to be on honesty and trust. And then also, I think what women want is taking responsibility for actions and behavior. I don't think that men also need to not fall into some kind of a box कि भाई मैं आदमी हूँ इसलिए मैं गलती नहीं कर सकता, या मैं रो नहीं सकता, या मैं अपने इमोशंस दिखा नहीं सकता, या मैं अपनी सेंसिटिव साइड तो सिर्फ उसी का प्रेरोगेटिव है या उसी को दिखाना चाहिए, मैं दिखाऊंगा तो how will I be male enough? I think those dogmas and stigmas we need to break through and have equality even there. So it's not only about opportunity in this breath, then it's more about equal beings. Be human, and as a human being you may cry too if something moves you, and you may have empathy and sympathy too.
Absolutely. I think what women also want is support. Support for them to do what they want to do. For example, get educated. And I'm talking about spousal support right now, or support from their fathers. Support to go and, maybe they're ambitious about their careers. So support in terms of, yes, honey, go and achieve your dreams as well.
Yeah.
Support even in terms of how they run the house. It's not a one man or a one woman show. So it's very important that a family has both pillars standing so that they can support the entire functioning of the household.
जी बिल्कुल, जो हमने बात की कि भाई ये दो जॉब कॉन्सेप्ट जो विमेन सदियों से चलाती आ रही हैं, it is two jobs, and I think when men realize that, they will be more forthcoming and share that task at home as well.
One of the biggest complaints that women make is that men don't help around the house.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Or don't help with the kids. It's a simple thing, and I know a lot of men work outside the home. So do women these days, as economic necessity has driven that. So it doesn't hurt if you take out the trash or load the dishwasher or drop the kids to school or what have you. There are 101 different ways that men can also equally chip in the house.
Exactly. और हम तो यहाँ पे I would say कि ये जो machinery से हम थोड़े spoiled हैं in that sense, but back home where you actually are washing things yourself, and your all those bartans are being either washed by the bai or the woman of the house. So I think over there more so you need to step in there and share. And I think these days probably the kids today and the generations to follow, hopefully that change will arise, but I think most of our fathers and their forefathers and our brothers have been brought up with that mentality that you don't need to do that. Like I don't think I was when I was a kid, my mom said you should learn how to cook thodi bahut dishes banana seekh lo. I do not remember her telling my brother bother that. And that is not her fault. It's just the way she's been brought up, and that's been going on. So I think we need to probably teach that from the very word go. That okay, आप भी थोड़ा दाल बनाना सीख लो और आप थोड़ा चावल बनाना सीख लो, दोनों फिर मिलके दाल चावल खा लेना, that
There
kind of
you
a
go.
thing, you know.
There you go. Financial independence, I think that's so important for women to have, and it doesn't matter if she's earning or not earning, but she may be working inside the home or outside the home, but it is so important that she keep aside some money for herself and have used that for however she wants to.
Totally agree. And I think in that, in the relational sensitivity part, that falls in, and also the fact कि एक individuality अपनी रखनी है. And I think men who respect that or who promote that is also what women want. कि भाई जाओ, आप अपनी girls के साथ थोड़ा hang out करो, आपको कहीं जाना है, खुद से जाना है, वो सब भी कर लो. And sometimes, you need that little extra push, because I know certain friends of mine who still don't drive on highways. They drive internally on service roads, but they're like, नहीं तेरे घर पे तो highway लेके आना पड़ेगा, मैं नहीं आऊँगी. So I think they need the little push over the cliff. तो आप थोड़ा उनको support करेगी.
Please don't push them over the cliff.
Exactly, not literally, metaphorically speaking, and allow them, encourage them, urge them कि नहीं, you will be able to do it, you can do it, come, let's do it together. And I think those bridges also can be crossed. This is literally, those bridges can be crossed if men kind of support them, as you were saying. Also, I think for me is like, don't be judgmental. I think what I also got in my past, in my life, is where people assumed कि अगर ये इसका corporate career है, at that time I did have that before I branched off on my own, is like, तो ये घर नहीं संभाल सकेगी because ये बहुत career minded है, या मैंने अगर 20s में शादी नहीं की तो इसका तो affair ही होगा कहीं, इसलिए नहीं कर रही है. So all of these judgments that we just pass so easily, I think that needs to change, and that's what we want from men and from society in general. कि भाई आप you don't know the life I'm leading, you don't know the journey I'm walking on, so let's not judge each other.
Absolutely. And don't treat the woman in your life like your personal assistant.
Yeah.
Right? She has a whole bunch of stuff that she needs to do as well, and just because you don't want to do it, and if you want her to do something, ask her nicely. Don't just assume ke, she's there for that purpose, ke just do all the work that you don't want to do. Again, it's a collaborative partnership, and it's filled with love, and it's filled with respect, and you help out where the other person cannot. That's what a true partnership is all about, right? A true loving relationship is all about. And I think women also want that friendship and their camaraderie in their relationships.
Yeah, and what I remembered another time is when I was working in the past in a company, and I remember going to my manager who was male, and I was treated unfairly in a certain aspect, and I told him about it, and he was like, no, you're reading too much into it, nothing like that has happened. So I think sensitivity is such an important aspect, and emotional maturity to be able to actually sit back and say, सुन लेता हूँ मैं, open mind से थोड़ा सुन लेता हूँ. नहीं, before you've even completed what I wanted to say, he had already made up his mind saying that no, you're reading too much into it. It's nothing like that. So I think openness of mind, a sensitivity towards women is also what women want from their men, that hear us out. If we are speaking up and having the courage to actually speak up, then the least you can do is to hear us out with an open mind.
Okay, let's take a caller. Radio Azad, you're on the air.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I was just thinking about you. Really?
I was also just thinking about her. जी.
मैं जरा बिजी हो गई थी, कॉल करा था लेकिन आपको ब्रेक का टाइम था.
जी.
अच्छा, मैं यहाँ पे बोलना चाहूंगी, हम लोग मैंने पूरा आपको शो नहीं सुन पाई, लेकिन जो थोड़ा बहुत सुन पाई इसमें कहा हमको अदर जेंडर से अपने हक लेने या दुनिया से लेने, वो तो सब ठीक है, लेकिन हमको अपनी औरतों में हमारी जो एक दूसरे के साथ जो काट है ना, उसको पहले खत्म करना है. हम खुद एक साथ नहीं खड़े एक दूसरे के, तो दूसरों के
हम अपने हुकूक के लिए कैसे लड़ सकते हैं जब हम एक दूसरे को अपना हुकूक नहीं देते हैं. मैंने औरतों में बहुत देखा है ये चीज, मोर देन मैन,
जी,
कि वो आपस में एक दूसरे की एक की टांग कोई खींच रहा था, वो एक की टांग खींच के दूसरे पर चढ़ना चाहता है. मर्दों में मैंने बहुत कम देखी है बात, आई एम अ वुमन माई सेल्फ, लेकिन हमको पहले विद इन अपनी चीजें सही करनी पड़ेगी बिफोर वी आस्क एनीवन एल्स टू गिव अस आवर राइट.
Right. Yep. And
Yeah.
we talked about this point as well. Thank you so much for that, Arjuman. And it is a very, very
Indeed, a
valid
very
point.
integral part of this whole discussion today, because वहाँ से तो सभी कुछ शुरू होता है. How can you kind of ask for something from someone else when we don't have it right within ourselves? So I think that would be step one, number one. But then moving forward, I would also say that, a lot of times I feel like एक जब personal relationship होती है, romantic relationship होती है, वहाँ पे a lot of women, clients who come complain that my husband or my partner doesn't do things with me. So it's like मैं तो बस घर संभालती हूँ और बाकी सब चीज़ें, हम कोई भी एक्टिविटी साथ नहीं करते हैं. And I really crave for that. So I think that's a big one. What women want from their men is कि भाई आप भी शामिल हो, आपके दो इंटरेस्ट्स में उसको शामिल होने दो, उसके दो इंटरेस्ट्स में आप शामिल हो जाओ, और फिर हाँ एक आध इंटरेस्ट आप अलग भी कर सकते हैं. बट टुगेदरनेस, कंपेनियनशिप इज ऑल्सो अनदर थिंग दैट women want as well.
And I think women want men in their lives to take their side in an argument. For example, if the mother-in-law has said something or the in-laws have said something, and the woman wants the man to take her side. I mean, after all, she's left everything and adopted this new household and new relationship structure, and a lot of pressure falls on her. And I know the man is in a difficult position, but instead of staying impartial, sometimes it's very important to listen to what she's saying and take her side. I'm not saying if she's wrong.
Yeah, so I think what Aisha is trying to say here when she says take her side is give her a very healthy listening ear. A lot of times, in the battle between the mother-in-law and your wife, because both are very, very dear to you. So in the same breath, the mother would say, the one that I gave birth to and raised, if he doesn't take my side, then what is it that I've done all these years? So I think to be able to, have an open mind and listen, and then it's a tough ball to call, right? I mean, I understand that, but I think a little bit of a hug, a little bit of, yes, it's tough, I understand. I think just lending that arm of support in terms of, I understand that this is a new dynamic, a new relationship, and there are hiccups along the way, but I'm on your side doesn't mean that I choose you, and even though you're wrong, you're right. No, but I'm on your side means I'm there for you. I'm there for you to listen, to lean on, to learn, to discuss, to share, and all of those things. Because sometimes I think for women, for us, it's just so important to empty the, जो दिल के अंदर जिस इतने सारी जो बातें हम रखते हैं, just to have a partner with who you can empty that bucket, and somebody who listens without giving solutions at times, don't you think?
Oh my God,
yeah,
that's a big
because
one.
the minute you share something with your spouse, or men in general, I think I've even had friends who are men, and the first thing that they do is like they give you a solution.
Yeah.
कि तू ये कर ले.
Trying
But
to solve the problem.
Didn't come to you for a solution. I just came to listen and have a listening ear.
Yes, absolutely. All right, anything else that you want to add?
I think that kind of completes it. But if I do want to add, one thing is intimacy is another big one. I think a lot of patriarchal men think that that's their birthright, and it's only about them. I think that mentality also needs to change. I think women enjoy intimacy as much as men, and to be fair and to respect each other as to with regards to their intimacy, wants, needs, desires.
All right, and it all goes back to good open communication and lifting your woman up instead of bringing her down. So it's not only women but also men it's important to keep encouraging and saying those thank yous and words of appreciation, because that is a big one.
I love yous बोलना, please thank you बोलना, या please thank you भी छोड़ दो, एक I love you ही genuinely अगर आप बोलें तो I think it makes such a lot of difference.
And instead of highlighting all the things that she's done wrong, think about all the things that she's done right.
इनफैक्ट हमारे लास्ट शो में, इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकन, उसमें हमने एक रेशियो दिया था कि इन पर्सनल रिलेशनशिप्स आप 5 अच्छी चीजें बोलेंगे और उसके अगेंस्ट आप 1-2 बुरी चीज बोल सकते हैं टू ईच अदर. सो दिस रूल इज नॉट अप्लाइड टू ओनली मेन बट वुमेन टू. इफ यू आर गोइंग टू पॉइंट आउट 5 थिंग्स दैट ही इज डन रॉन्ग एंड नॉट रियली टेल हिम एनीथिंग दैट ही इज डन राइट, दैट्स नॉट फेयर. सो विथ ईच अदर 5 थिंग्स दैट यू रियली लाइक अबाउट ईच अदर एंड देन यू मे काइंड ऑफ एड 1 or 2 things that you feel that you'd like improved.
There you go. All right, do you have a poem for us?
Yes, I do. Okay. And since it is holy and all, this one's titled Colorblind. Invisible is a term one uses for something you cannot see. Are you oblivious to the beauty of me? You just see my body, do you not notice me? The color of my grit is pure gold. It carries me way beyond the normal threshold. Those are my values in stark white and black. They keep me grounded, right on track. I do as well have a lot of grey matter than what you think. I'm way smarter. Look at my courage dressed in opulent purple. My strength of spirit is his gift, immortal. All of this is laced with my grace, a delicate pink. It elegantly embraces everything I say and think. That is my kindness that drapes me in luminous silver. Intrinsically I'm a giver, it's what makes me glitter. Pay attention to my sky blue colored patience. Don't mistake it for endless complacence. It only fuels my perseverance. There are shades of green you've only seen on trees pristine. I nurture, I heal all wounds seen and unseen. And you've never known a deeper shade of red if you haven't loved a woman before you're dead. Look at me, a translucent soul, a rainbow eternal. Invisible is a term one uses for something you cannot see. Are you oblivious to the beauty of me?
Beautiful.
Yeah, so I think these are all the strengths of a woman, and I think we are so beautiful inside and out that are you oblivious to the beauty of me?
Open your eyes, open your hearts and see. Thank you all for staying with us for a wonderful show, and we'll be back with another topic on Double Shot Espresso coming up. And yes, I will be here on Friday for Coffee Mornings. So talk to you all then. Apna khayal rakhiyega. Khuda Hafiz.